Hi guys, Campi Flegrei. We have to talk about Campi Flegrei again. One of the world's most dangerous calderas slash supervolcano in southern Italy that is threatening more than 3 million people, the greater Naples area. Basically, Naples is basically tied in between Campi Flegrei, called the burning fields if it's translated, and Vesuvius, between two bad guys, and the earthquakes keep coming, guys. It doesn't stop. We just had another one, and there's way more information in this video. Stay tuned right now. Hi guys, Rudi and I, my co-host Rudi, is here today to tell you about what's going on in Campi Flegrei. And wow guys, there's a new earthquake swarm, and in my opinion, it's a significant one again. I mean, I know since we had that big one on May 20th, basically every week there have been these earthquake swarms. But guys, now this one is significant. And I want to talk to you about the evacuation measurements and the rehearsals that took place. And it's been kind of ridiculous what's going on in light of the danger that the scientists are announcing. So let's look into this. Earthquake swarm first, guys. So it's been going on since July 1st, basically. But into July 2nd, has accelerated, so to speak, with larger ones also. So I'll show you the list here, and you can see it starts like on July 1st, Phlegraean fields 1.4, 1.0, 1.1, 1.8, and then it goes into July 2nd, and the biggest ones here are 2.9, 2.7, Rudi, what do you say? 2.8, 2.5, and then Vesuvius 1.5, 1.0. And if we scroll back a little bit, Vesuvius has had some earthquakes the last few days as well. So oopsie, I mean, more than 3 million people are located in between Campi Flegrei and then 5 kilometers away, Vesuvius, that is a bad guy as well. So as of now, as I'm speaking, the last one was on 11 p.m. local time in Italy, a 1.3, but they keep coming. And that one was at a depth of 3 kilometers. The other ones, 1 kilometer, 0. So really, guys, something's going on, and I really think that magma is on the move. And whoa, guys, literally while I'm sitting here making this video, another earthquake, 2:18 a.m. local time in Italy, and it's a 3.2 magnitude at a depth of 3 kilometers at the Phlegraean fields again. So this one is not over yet. It's developing and it's getting even larger, guys. And guys, I want you to look at this map with the earthquakes that happened in the year 2024. So there is the different colors. The ones that we need to look at are the red dots, the red ones. These are the current ones. And the bigger the circle, the bigger the earthquake. So you see, those are moving a little bit to a different location in the bay than all the yellow ones that were right underneath the solfatara. So they're still in the same area, Campi Flegrei, Solfatara, Pozzuoli, but those are an outlier. If you look at what's happened in 2024 so far, basically where the cluster is, that's the yellow ones, right? And this is a little bit further, I would say, well, southeast, right? And I find this concerning. And there's earthquakes in the Gulf of Naples as well. So it is under Naples basically as well, and it's in the water. So if there's an eruption happening there, that will send a tsunami towards the coast of Naples as well. And then there's the orange dots. These are just ones like happened a few days ago. And then the yellow ones that are also not so long ago, and the green ones that are the that took place the longest apart, but all 2024. But the red dots, look at that, guys. The Campi Flegrei area stretches 100 kilometers. So that is within the Campi Flegrei area. And since this current earthquake swarm keeps producing earthquakes in the higher range above 2 and now above 3, this is something, there's reports, people feel it, they feel the trembling, it happens at night again, so there's reports they're feeling their beds trembling, they're feeling the walls shaking. Of course, these earthquakes always come with a roar, with a sound that really goes through all your nerves. It's basically, I always find it sounds like a missile is hitting you. It does this sound, and then boof, the earthquake's happening, and then the shaking happens. So scary, scary, scary. One report of one resident is very interesting because, you know, guys, the animals, they feel it the best, and they sometimes give you a forewarning of things to come. So in Naples, the resident writes, "At first, I only saw the land moving for no reason. It wouldn't stop, but I felt nothing, neither the cat. Then all of a sudden, a strong shake, but extremely short, happened. The cat went under the bed immediately, which she usually doesn't do, even with other medium earthquakes." So maybe the cat is telling us something and we just don't know how to interpret that. They also have released their new weekly bulletin, the INGV, the Italian Institute for Geology and Volcanology. So this spans the time frame of June 24th till June 30th. But we have to keep in mind, the earthquake swarm started after they basically finished their bulletin. So after June 30th, we just looked at July 1st, July 2nd. So they're saying, whoa, there is no imminent indication that something really is going on that would put us in imminent danger. I disagree a little bit, because these earthquake swarms and the 2.9 and the ones above 2, they're in the larger range again, and many of them, more of them. So they have released the earthquake map here just for that week, and they say it's been 69 tremors. No, it's more now. We're getting close to 80, I would think. And you see, they're all concentrated basically underneath the Solfatara. This is this one crater close to Pozzuoli, where also these hot steams are coming out, the fumaroles. And then also they released a map again where all their measuring stations are, and you see they also have the measuring stations in the water, of course, to see what's going on there, because the caldera, that Campi Flegrei system, stretches into the water as well. It stretches around an area of 100 kilometers. And then they're talking about the land rise, the Brady seism. So that's pretty constant as well. It's still at like 2 centimeters plus minus 3 millimeters per month. One thing that they did see in some measuring stations, they're saying that there was a subsidence, so the land was sinking a little bit, of half a centimeter to a centimeter after the May 20th 4.4 earthquake, which was the biggest in 40 years, probably even in a longer time frame than that. So was there a magma intrusion on May 20th? Because if the magma chamber keeps filling up and filling up, that's usually when the land keeps rising, or magmatic fluids, magmatic gases. And then if it reaches a point where it gets close to maximum elasticity, it usually sends the magma on its way. So it seems maybe that some magma did leak out, or something was moving, so that we had a short period of land subsidence there, and now it's rising again, it's recharging, refilling. And especially since we know that the magma is located at a depth of only 4 kilometers and not 8 to 12 kilometers, which they previously thought. So it's way closer than they thought. So the danger is higher because it doesn't need that long to reach the surface. And then also what we need to talk about is that rehearsal that they did. So they had this Bradyseism emergency rehearsal on June 26th, and you could sign up there ahead of time. And this affects an area of more than 30,000 people. But the thing is, not many people did sign up. And I'll tell you in a second how many people actually did show up. That was even more shocking. So, you know, and that's what the scientists don't like. I mean, they're talking about earthquakes and the Bradyseism, the earthquakes that come with the land rise. But, you know, the volcanic eruption is the problem. So they did rehearse, you know, evacuating nursing homes for the elderly in Pozzuoli. And then they were imitating fake leaks of toxic volcanic gases. They said they wanted to secure cultural heritage that was kept in the museum at the castle of Baia. But, you know, these were tests that they did carry out, but that's all nice. But if there's a volcanic eruption, I don't think you have time to save something from the museums. So then they said they did an evacuation test of citizens that reside in the restricted intervention area, but little participation, guys. Listen to this. Rudi, listen very closely. Only 30 people in Pozzuoli and 16 people in Naples and 100 people in Baccioli took place. So that is basically useless. You know, we're talking about roughly 500,000 people that are in the imminent danger zone. I think Rudi has enough. So does that get them anywhere? No. And you have to understand what the scientists were saying. I mean, if there's a volcanic eruption at Campi Flegrei, in the Solfatara, in the Pozzuoli area, it's not only the 500,000 people in the proximity there, Western Naples suburbs, that will have a state of panic. It's going to be the whole area, more than 3 million people. And the shocking news is that the experts have said, if only 3,000 to 4,000 people start trying to evacuate with their cars immediately, at once, that will already clog up the road system. Do you know what that means? That's why the Minister of Civil Defense has said a successful evacuation will probably not work. And we know what that means. So this is really, really scary. And, you know, they can plan ahead, like, let's evacuate with buses. They have 500 bus drivers ready, and let's, you know, by train and yada, yada, yada. And that's a plan for only roughly 300,000 people. But of course, if you're in Naples and you see the sky turn red, everyone's in panic, and there are no functioning systems that could tell you in that moment what kind of eruption that is. So will it reach whole Naples or not? What's Vesuvius doing? You want to leave. You're in panic. Then, of course, there was an earthquake swarm before the eruption. Buildings will collapse. Roads will be blocked. It'll be total chaos. So these rehearsals that they're doing here, I don't think they make much sense. And I want to remind you of something that the scientists have said. I made a detailed report about this in my last video about Campi Flegrei. Dr. Jeppe Lorenzo, he works for the INGV and the Vesuvius Observatory. He does not agree with what the government is doing with their rehearsal plans. He says their evacuation plans do not work. They need new ones. They need better ones. And he says they are insufficient and impractical. And, you know, when he said that they looked at past eruptions and that in the lead up to past eruptions, the magma that was in the magma chambers underneath the eruption area, which is Solfatara, Pozzuoli area, was already in an explosive state. So it needed only little to push it to the point of eruption. And we know the magma chamber is only at 4 to 5 kilometers depth. And he says on the occasions when Campi Flegrei did erupt, It's likely that it happened very quickly and with very little forewarning. So all the current evacuation plans are based on a 72-hour warning period, but that's not going to happen. You've seen this in Iceland. The earthquake swarm happens and then anything between 0 minutes and 1 hour max, it happened, right? So if it's already explosive, it'll come out explosive. There is no running away from this. So they're hoping that it's not going to be a big eruption, but even a smaller eruption will be devastating. But scientists are saying, don't rule the big one out. And again, you have to look at the past. When Campi Phlegrei's caldera was first formed, that's nearly 40,000 years ago, this eruption has already produced like 200 cubic kilometers of magma that it did spit out of this crater. And that's enough to fill, I mentioned this in my last video, 80 million Olympic swimming pools. But what is important to understand again, and I read this to you, given the area's high urbanization, even an eruption of the size of the last one, which was a smaller one, would be enough to cause hundreds of thousands of deaths if no evacuation were to take place. But the problem is, okay, people in the immediate danger zone would be doomed, unfortunately. But then the rest of the greater Naples area, more than 3 million people, would try to escape in panic. And it's not like that there's super great daylight. I mean, depends on when the eruption happens. There's a lot of ash and smoke, low to no visibility, and these people are trying to escape from these old settlements, narrow roads, small pathways, and then more people unfortunately will lose their lives while they're trying to get away from everything. So it'll be total chaos, you know, and my opinion is, I don't even think that there is an evacuation plan that will work, even if they're modified. That would really only be in the best case scenario that the volcano will give them enough warning time, like days of warning time. But if there is only a few hours even warning time, it'll be a complete mess. That's my opinion, guys. Let me know what you think. I think this constant rumbling, it doesn't even stop. It's like earthquakes every day. And now this new swarm that's happening in the larger range, again, it's concerning because usually it means something if there's earthquakes. Is there magma on the move? Is it magmatic fluids or gases that are on the move? But something's on the move. And since that magma chamber is so close to the surface, it is dangerous. And also, since experts said the crust, the caprock layer of rocks that keeps the lid on this whole magmatic system has lost 2/3 of its stability since the 1980s events. So there was probably a magma intrusion in the 1980s when there were these earthquake swarms and Brady seismic events, but then it stopped. So the caprock layer maybe kept a lid on it so that the magma couldn't reach the surface, but it was on its way. And something similar could be happening right now as well. Scientists have warned, but it seems that officials still do not want to raise the alert level. We've discussed this in my previous videos. They're worried about home prices declining. They're worried about tourism stopping. Of course, would you go there on vacation if you know you're sleeping in a hotel that's built on a supervolcano? Probably not. But who knows? Look at the Blue Lagoon in Iceland. I mean, the tourists keep coming, although the magma chamber's right underneath. And don't forget, in Iceland, Brady seism, land rising, land subsiding, land rising, land subsiding. They're not saying anything about the crust the caprock layer underneath the Blue Lagoon, how stable that still is after multiple bradyseisms in such a short period of time. So that's probably losing its stability too. And that magma chamber underneath the Blue Lagoon is also only at a depth of 4 kilometers. And the land keeps rising there again. There's news about this too, which I talked to you about later. So it's not looking so great, in my opinion, for Italy. Guys, thanks for watching, and maybe Rudi will come and say goodbye as well. Thank you so much for supporting our channel. Thank you so much for the coffees you keep buying us on my buymeacoffee.com website. The link is in the description of this video, guys. Anything helps to support this channel and to give me the possibility to spend more time here with you on this channel and basically reduce my time that I'm working in other jobs. So, because I love this here. So thanks for supporting this, and thanks for your supers and all your support for just watching and being there. And if you can, leave this video a like, leave it a like, and subscribe so that you see us more often. That would be awesome. You all have a great day wherever you are. Be prepared, be safe. We will see you very, very soon. And how can I do this that it's so calm and quiet here, that Eddie is not giving us trouble for Rudi being on my lap? Well, I sent Eddie on a walk outside so that he's a little bit distracted. He can look for bunnies and everything there. So Rudi and I, we have a little bit of a quiet time here, and we can talk to you guys. Thank you so much. We will see you soon, and Rudi can go out and hunt some bunnies as well. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.